Hello, I'm Jim. I'm a narcissist. I have narcissistic personality disorder. Making these videos for anybody that wants information. To let you know, of course, I am not a licensed professional counselor, psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, not licensed anything. I'm an auditor. But what I do have is narcissistic personality disorder. So I do have, of course, firsthand information on what it's like to have this disorder, the characteristics of this disorder. So anybody that's looking to gain information into this disorder is why I make these videos. Today I wanted to talk about a topic that that I talk about a lot. It's a big one. It really is. I'm going to share some personal stuff, and I hope that if you think you might have this disorder, or you do have or you've been diagnosed with this disorder, this might be helpful. And if you think you know somebody that has this disorder, I really, really think this is going to be helpful. So it's going to be about my experience with relationships. So it's kind of difficult for me to talk about this without kind of giving you my my backstory, my current story, and my future story. You get all kinds of stories, right? We're gonna story it up. So one of the things I've done is I've made the conscious decision that I am not dating. Okay, so I'm single, and I have way too much to work on myself to make sure that I'm in control of this disorder before I take the chances of hurting somebody again. So I'm not dating. I'm not pursuing dating. I'm really scared of treating people the way I've treated people in the past. So my biggest fear is, of course, that if I don't share with the person that I have narcissistic personality disorder, even if I do share with them, just that it would be too easy for somebody that doesn't know me, my mannerisms, my tendencies, my triggers, my things like that I could go ahead and I could relapse into what I was like before, and of course they wouldn't know that, right? So that's not something I'm ready to take on yet. I do have a therapist. I work with my therapist. That's something I'm working towards, right? And I'm really excited about getting there one day, but I'm not there today, right? So I'm single by choice, and staying so. But I haven't been single my whole life, right? So I want to talk about something that I've kind of noticed from my past. So I'm sure, so that's my future, right? But I told you I can't really discuss this without going through the past and the present, right? So that's, maybe that's my present and my future. Yeah, you got both of them. All right, so here's my past. So I was in a very long relationship with the mother of my 3 children. I verbally abused, I emotionally and verbally abused her for years and years and years. All the symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder I definitely displayed in that relationship. The things I did was nothing short of disgusting. It was obvious for probably 10 plus years that there was no emotion coming from her side, and I can't imagine how there could have been after the I really think there's only 2 options when somebody's verbally abusing you. That you just cut off all emotion, or you leave them, right? So I can definitely look back and understand why she was emotionless, which just actually made me more enraged, right? So I spent the better part of the latter years of the relationship screaming and yelling and begging for more affection, which at that point, you can't give affection to someone that's emotionally and verbally abusing you constantly, right? So I get that. I can look back now that I've been diagnosed. Now I know, who and what I am. I can look back and I can see that it wasn't her fault. I drove her to be that person. All right. So the relationship, I mean, it was very, very verbally aggressive. I was very verbally aggressive. I was and verbally abusive. I mean, almost daily. So when I chose to get out of that relationship, and of course, I believed it was all her fault, right? She was so emotionally withdrawn. I had no other choice but to get out of that relationship. Which, looking back in retrospect, that's not it. I emotionally and verbally abused her to the point where she had no other choice but to shut down her emotions completely, right? But I'm the one that ended that relationship. Had a brief period where I was pursuing dating, right? And then, of course, if you've heard me mention the one, the love of my life, the most amazing, phenomenal human being I've ever had the pleasure of being close to. I mean, even if it was just in the same room, man, just so amazing and phenomenal. And we dated for a little over a year, right? Moved in together. Now, I've told in one of the other videos kind of like this story, so I'm going to try to like sum it up pretty fast. So after she left, I found out I have narcissistic personality disorder. I've come to accept it. I've gotten a therapist. I'm now on a journey, towards emotional wellness and betterment. And I can look back and realize just, all the things I did, the gaslighting, right? The manipulation, right? The emotional abuse, right? Now, for me, since I had come from such a verbal abusive situation, that I felt like I was doing amazing and phenomenal. I was like, man, I never raised my voice at this girl, right? I never say hurtful and harmful things, but I didn't realize that I was using like sarcasm and things like that, right? I was still being just as verbally abusive, but in other ways. I was being just as manipulative. I just didn't realize it, right? Now that I know that I have this disorder, I can look back and I can realize all the damage I did to her, right? And all the emotional abuse that I caused her, right? I can now see that, right? I couldn't at the time, because I thought, hey, just because I'm not yelling and screaming and calling you curse words constantly, I'm the ideal boyfriend. I'm amazing. I'm phenomenal. Like, that's what I truly believed in that moment, right? I did. And I believed the lies my disorder was telling me, right? That it was her, it wasn't me. Like, I believed all of it, right? Now that I know that I have this disorder, I can look back and I can see I was completely wrong. But with that being said, after she left, of course, I went back to dating, and that's what I want to talk about today. So I think I can identify some characteristics that might be similar in other narcissists, right? So I've shared before. I came across this recently. I think it's called demisexual, which means that sex isn't pleasurable unless you have an emotional connection with the other person. I truly believe like this, that I associate with this, right? I've only ever had one night stand in my life. Wasn't something I really enjoyed. I've pretty much just gone from like committed relationship to committed relationship. It's just kind of what I've always done. So not every narcissist, almost very few narcissists or people with narcissistic personality disorder are going to display those types of characteristics, right? You usually find a lot more multi-dating, a lot more cheating, is a lot more common with this disorder, right? But that's for a frame of reference of who I am. But the characteristics I display when I attempted dating, I think a lot of people are going to identify with, and I'm hoping I can give some red flags and some warning signs to people to be on the lookout for. So, again, that girl was amazing. The greatest. I mean, I could live, if reincarnation's real, I could live 1,000,000 lives, and I'll never come anywhere even 1/1,000,000 of feeling what I felt for this girl. And just, I mean, I don't think I'm capable to feel about another person the way I feel just when, like, this girl would send a text and I would see her picture on that small little contact. Like, that's just, I mean, there's no way to explain or describe just how head over heels gaga in love I am. I mean, it hasn't gone away, right? I can't say I can't lie. I got, it's accountability. I have to be honest. Like, that feeling doesn't go away. But after she broke up with me, right, I tried to deny those feelings. That, tried to convince myself that they weren't as deep as they were. I tried to do all the stuff that you do after a breakup, right? It was their fault. When you're a narcissist, it's 10 times worse. I mean, I have that demon screaming, she did this, she did that, you know what I mean? You need to hate her for this, you need to hate her for that, right? All of that stuff. So I decided I was going to go back out there and I was going to date. And over the months that I did, I started, like, I can now look back and I can start to identify some things. So it was obvious that, I got to be honest, like, at no point was I really at no point was I able to experience emotion with another human being the way I'd experienced with her. Like, I physically, spiritually, emotionally just wasn't capable at all. Did that stop me? No. So here's the thing. I'm still going out there and I am still trying to get people to go out on dates with me, knowing that there's no way I'm going to give them what they want, which of course is a relationship, is a connection, right? I knew that. All right. I hadn't identified with my disorder yet, so I may not have been 100% conscious, but yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many times that, yeah, I knew I wasn't going to experience that with them. That means I knew what I was doing. And to me, this is no different than a guy that goes out to have a one-night stand and he doesn't, he tells the girl he's in love with her, but he just wants to beep her and roll out the next day, right? That is identical. I know these girls are looking for a long-term relationship, and I know I'm not going to do that with them, but I'm still pursuing them. And not one, not two. I mean, as many as would give me the time of day. And I'm not going to say, I was dating like thousands. And I got to be honest, like, I'm going out on dates with these girls. And it literally got to a point where I don't even really want to hug them or kiss them in any way, right? Like, at all. Like, and even if there was like a small spark or connection, like, yeah, I didn't want to pursue like kissing them or, at all. But I still did it. So looking back, why? I'm a narcissist. I have narcissistic personality disorder. I now have identified a trigger that I wasn't familiar with before. I have a need to make them like me, and I have a need to make them want me, even though I do not like or want them in any way, shape, or form. That's so hurtful to hear it out loud. Yeah, and I'm gonna cut in, right? It's about making the future better than the past. I can't take back the hurt and the damage that I've done, right? But I want a different future. I want to be a different person. I don't want my past to be my future. I want my future to be better. I want to be better. I don't want to be this person anymore. I don't want to let that disorder run my life. I don't want to let that disorder make me hurt people. So, I'll kind of walk you through what it was like. So, of course, I stereotypes. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and hate me if I say it, whatever. Guys and girls are different, right? A girl can go on a dating app and just kind of get her pick of kind of whoever she wants. For guys, it's usually more chasing, right? So you cast a big net. Let me go ahead and just throw a big net out to a whole bunch of different people, and see who I pull in the net. So from there, it's really about just trying to make them like me. This is this is that glory hounding, the love bombing, the hoovering, right? Making it seem like I'm the greatest person in the world, someone that they have to be with immediately, right? I'm the person of their dreams. And then of course, like, it's you lead the conversation on the app to texting to a date in person, right? And at that point, like I said, at the end of the date, what's more awkward and uncomfortable? Oh my God, am I going to kiss her? Am I not? Like, what's going to happen? You want to talk about awkward? How do I avoid even trying? Because I don't want to. And here's the thing. Before I even went on that date, I knew that, especially at the end, right? So I'm going to be honest. So when I was dating, which was several months, in the beginning, I was truly committed to I'm getting over this girl, right? Somewhere in that process, I realized it was not going to happen like that. I didn't have it in me, right? And I knew that I wasn't going to meet somebody that was going to change that. I knew that. And I knew everything I was doing as I was doing it. Maybe not, let's say this went on for 3 months, maybe not for the first month. For those last 2 months, 110%. And, I became the king of, hey, can we be friends? I mean, that's, and I knew that. I knew before I ever went on a date, I'll be honest with you. I knew when I was hitting the like button, hey, if they like me back, I'm gonna love bomb and hoover them the best I can, right? And I'm gonna get the digits or give the digits. Then I'm gonna set up a date and I'm gonna beg them to be my friend. I mean, that was my ultimate plan. And I got to be honest with you, like, I started to notice similarities during the hoovering process. Even though I knew it was never going to go anywhere, right? I told you, demisexual. So, I mean, this wasn't about, like, I wasn't going to have sex with them, right? I wasn't going to have sex with them and then never call them again. Like, that wasn't what that's not something I do. That's not something I can do, right? I'm a demisexual. So I knew that wasn't what it was about. But I felt different while I was trying to draw them in, right? While I was love bombing, while I was hoovering, right? While I was glory hounding, while I was using all of these manipulation tools, I felt different. I mean, I felt the tingles, I felt the butterflies, and I'm telling you that, not like I thought that there was a chance that, oh man, I'm gonna fall in love with this person, or man, I'm gonna have a really strong connection with this person. No. I knew that there was a feeling that I was having while it was happening, but it wasn't going to happen when I saw him in person. I knew it deep down in my core. And I mean, I consciously knew it, right? But there was this drive to not just one, not just two, as many as I could, to get them to like me, right? I think that's what it's like for a lot of people with this disorder. I think that's why you see a lot of cheating. I think that's why you see a lot of people in relationships where they feel that they're at a level here with their narcissist and the narcissist is here, right? They're just not equal on their emotional levels. But the narcissist doesn't cut them loose. The narcissist keeps them on that string, keeps them on that leash, right? We've all heard the just not that into you, right? I think that's why, for narcissists and narcissistic people with narcissistic personality disorder, I think that's why that happens a lot, right? We're just not that into that person but we don't tell them, and we don't cut that tie. We just keep leading them on. And that's one of the main reasons I'm not ready to date. I'm not ready to take that on. I mean, I got so much stuff I'm working on, you know, and man, I'm killing it, right? Killing it, 100. I mean, it's amazing the progress, you know, I've made with the assistance of my therapist. It is, but I mean, I'm not jeopardizing that. I mean, because I don't even know what it's gonna be like when that hoovering and fake futuring and, you know, love bombing and all that stuff starts to come into play. I mean, I'm not ready to tackle that on. No. And I'm not ready to face whether or not I can feel like that again about somebody. I don't know I'm ever going to be able to. Let me take that back. I am never, ever going to be able to get to the level I was at with that girl. I'm never going to feel like that about somebody else. It is never going to happen. It's not possible. I get that, right? But if we say that was a 10, I mean, at some point maybe I hit a 7, maybe I hit an 8, right? I mean, I'm never getting to that level again. It's not possible. But right, I'm not gonna go the rest of my life and, you know, be alone. You know, so like I said, if what I had with her was a 10, you know, maybe I can get to a 7, maybe I can get to an 8. You know, but I can't risk it, that I'm not able to control that. That I go back to doing the things that I did before, right? Where I'm just drawing people in just to beg them to be my friend at the end. And I hurt them, and I lead them on. You know, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. I hope this gave some insight. If you have this disorder, I'm imagining that this is very similar to things you've experienced and you've done. This is one of my where I'm always identifying new things in this disorder, and now this is just something I'm identifying, you know, through the help of my therapist. You know, we're realizing in therapy, and it's something I wanted to share, and I think not just for the narcissist, but for the people that, you know, are in relationships with narcissists, or they might be meeting narcissists, right? You know, just be aware this is well, let me first, if you have if you are a narcissist, or if you have narcissistic personality disorder, right? Hey, it's accountability. Yeah. If you identify with it, you got to stop it. It's not right. Okay? Deliberately hurting people is not okay. Right? It's not. The things that I did leading those girls on, you know, even if it was just a date or whatever, that's still not fair. I mean, it's you know, and no, that's not right. I had no right to do that. I wasted their time. I should have been honest with them up front from the very, very beginning, and I wasn't, and that's wrong. And you now need to acknowledge that if you continue that behavior, that you know what you're doing, and it makes it even more wrong. You need to stop, right? That's why I'm making the conscious effort not to, the conscious decision, right? This isn't an effort. This is a decision. This is what's happening, right? So that's why I've made the conscious decision to not date until I feel comfortable and I review it with my therapist. Because you know, I'm not going to hurt people the way I have in the past. If you think you know a narcissist, or you've come across somebody that you feel might be love bombing you, or you're in a relationship and you're just not wondering and you can't figure out why the emotional level's not there from their side, but they're not cutting you off. It feeds their disorder. It fed my disorder, right? The same way glory hounding, people telling me how great I am, right? Feeds my disorder, right? I would get that pleasure out of being able to draw you in. And I had a need and a desire, like an addiction for it, right? It fed my disorder. And that's what they're doing to you. So everybody makes their own choices in this world. But my opinion is always going to be the same. If you know a narcissist, you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you might be thinking about entering a relationship with a narcissist, you ended a relationship with a narcissist, doesn't matter. My opinion is going to be the same. Get out of the relationship immediately if you can. Sever all ties. Do not allow them any way in, meaning block them on your phone, block them on your social media. If you got to get a restraining order, whatever it takes, right? Do not let them back in, because of course they're gonna just do some very manipulative, deceptive stuff to try to get their foot back in the front door to do the same stuff over and over again. So that's the only advice you're ever going to get from me when it comes to victims. You have to take responsibility for ceasing all communication. You have to cut it off 110%. You have to not allow them to come back in and do the same things over and over again. You are the victim, and you will continue to be the victim, and they will continue their behavior, and that's not going to change. And as a narcissist that has hurt a lot of people, that's the right thing to do. It's the best thing for you. It's the best thing for your mental and emotional well-being. It is the best thing for your friends and family, because trust me, you bring a narcissist or someone with NPD into their lives, it's going to have consequences as well. Yeah. I hope this is helpful. I really, really do. I can't change the things I've done in the past, but I can change the things that I do in the future. And again, that's why I make these videos, and I'm really hoping that this one helps some people.